Thank you for holding, everybody. We're now joining Scott Satterfield. If you have a question for Coach Satterfield, please dial *1 on your phone at this time. Again, *1 to get your questions in the queue. Coach, while we're waiting for questions, would you mind starting us off with an opening statement?
Yeah, I thought, obviously going down and playing a road game down at Southern Miss, I thought our kids came out and played with great effort and great fight. I thought throughout the whole game they did that. And I thought we played well throughout the whole game, offensively, defensively. A couple of disappointing things that we had, just not scoring touchdowns down in the red zone. And then in the kicking game, we missed 3 field goals and an extra point that basically, really hurt us. A 1-point ball game that basically was the difference in the ball game. So, but the kids kept fighting, and we got ourselves back into it, and just didn't finish it out. But, proud of their effort. And, now the tough thing is we got a, quick turnaround and have to play game 5 days later down in Statesboro, Georgia.
Thank you, Coach. Our first questions come from Winston-Salem. Caller, please identify yourself and go ahead.
Hi, Scott. This is Tommy Bowman, Winston-Salem Journal. Picking up on that as far as the turnaround, how tough a proposition is it to turn around so quickly, to go on the road again?
Yeah, I think it's extremely difficult, and I think that, especially to have back-to-back road games, and they're road games that are not a couple hours away. We had to take a flight down to Southern Miss. We got back at 6 in the morning Sunday, and then now turn around and have to drive 6 hours down to Statesboro. It's a quick turnaround, and not only for the travel purposes, but also for both teams, the physical turnaround. I think because we both teams I think played physical football games this past Saturday night. And usually you have that extra couple of days to let your body heal before you have another game, and so that's going to be tough on those kids to be able to come right back out and go. The good thing is it's a rival game, and both teams I'm sure is going to be ready to play.
Yeah, it seems maybe kind of strange to ask this or say this, it's because it's still early. But given the results so far and Georgia Southern's schedule breakdown and everything, does it appear that they're the team to beat right now?
Well, I mean, it is early to play, to go. There's been so many non-conference games I think played out there by all the conference teams, and very very little. I guess it's hardly any. I guess Georgia Southern and South Alabama last week, but. So it is hard to tell because it's not apples to apples you're comparing it. Now, if you just look at, how they've played, I think Georgia Southern has played. They're probably one of the, played better teams throughout the country in the Sun Belt, with the way they play. I mean, they basically could be 4-0 right now if they finished out a couple of games. I mean, their offense is rolling. Defense is playing really, really well, and, so they are a pretty hot team right now.
Yeah. Their offense, how different – it's obviously a lot of still the same, base components, but how is it different now? And does it still come down to football?
Yeah, well, you're talking about Georgia Southern different now from the way they used to be.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the big things is they're a lot they're mostly shotgun now, and I think that's a big difference. In the past they were mainly under center. And now they're shotgun. They're incorporating power football game as long with the option. So now they're coming right at you with the power game, and then all of a sudden the quarterback pulls it and they're running option out the back end. So that's different. And then I think another main difference is that their ability to throw the football now. This year they've shown in 4 games that they can complete the ball down the field. They've got a lot of big plays in the passing game, because they're getting the one-on-one matchups on the outside, and their quarterback's done a great job of getting the ball out to those playmakers on the perimeter to make plays. And so you couple that with their running back is extremely fast and has made a lot of big plays as well. So it's very tough, difficult offense to defend.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
Thank you, Tommy. Our next questions come from Boone, North Carolina. Caller, please identify yourself and go ahead.
Coach, this is Steve Baer with the paper. Just a couple of things from Southern Miss. First off, when did you decide to go with Taylor Lamb as your starter, and what was the thought process behind that?
Yeah, of course, those guys have been battling throughout the whole camp and really the first part of our season so far. And, coming out of the Campbell game, we thought both played well out of the Campbell game. And we basically looked at the decision-making out of the two and felt that Taylor had a little bit better decision-making. in that game, and really started working him in this past week as a starter for Southern Miss. In the open week, they basically were going back and forth, and we're still splitting reps with those guys in practice. They're getting equal share of reps. We feel comfortable really with both of them playing. You know, what Taylor came out and showed, I think, in the game that was that you know, his decision making is good. I think he had a high throw on the one interception. The other interception, he gets hit with a lack of protection that we had up front on that particular play. And then he also showed that he can run the football. He took it down several times and picked up some key first downs with his legs, and that's something that we need to do in this offense.
So it wasn't necessarily anything Cam did to not.
No, I think he played solid at Campbell. So I think that Taylor, his decision making is a little bit quicker. His decision making in the whole overall offense has been a little bit better, and I think that's the main thing. Cam has played well. I mean, it's not. Other than that, the first part of the Michigan game, he's played well since then.
Also, you mentioned the breakdowns in the kicking game. Were they just a matter of low kicks, or you're not getting the blocking up front, especially with the block kicks, obviously?
Yeah. Yeah, they were a tad low. The extra point was low, and the field goal was not as low, but still was low enough to where they can get a hand on it. They did a good job, I thought, of putting pressure on us in the kicking game. But I think more than anything, it came down to just the low kicks on both of those. And then, you know, in the 3 field goals he missed, that he's trying to get the ball up, you know, and ended up pushing those to the right, you know. And then, you know, and we feel for him. I mean, the bad thing is in practice, and then really our big scrimmage we had over in August. I mean, he was 4 for 4 in the field goals, and has really kicked the ball well in practice. And you know, of course, the game is where it counts, and you know, that's where the thing that he's got to do is he's got to learn to put bad things behind him. I think sometimes whenever something goes wrong, it kind of haunts him the rest of the game. So he's got to learn to put that behind him and move on to the next play.
I think really though, despite all that, you had a first and goal from the 1, and
yeah,
I think it was 2 penalties, or a key holding penalty, something like that, push it back.
Yeah, we had a holding penalty on Bo Nunn there. Well, we had the bad thing about that, we were first and goal for the 1, and we had an MA up front, and then the next play had another MA, so we lost yards. And then we run the ball outside, and we get the holding penalty. They end up, you know, pushing us back. And so now we're first and goal. We end up kicking a field goal from, you know, the 20-some yard line, you know, and getting it blocked. So that was very disappointing. And then the other time we get down on the 6-yard line, first and goal from the 6, and then they strip Marcus from the ball. And so we don't even get an opportunity to try to get any points that particular time. So we left a lot of points on the board out there Saturday night for sure.
Despite all that, kind of got an idea where you are. I mean, those sound like problems you can correct. So
yeah,
you like where you are? Or?
Well, I mean, I feel, you know, we went out there and competed well. I mean, we had 455 yards. I thought our defense played well. They held them. You know, our third downs, we were 8 for 16. They were 2 for 11. I mean, you know, if you look at the stats and the way we played very, very solid. You know, we played good enough to win. We just made too many mistakes, and the kicking game let us down in critical times where. We just needed one of those plays to hit. I mean, we just, you know, 1 field goal. I mean, that's all we needed. Or McGowan had a safety. We had the quarterback in the end zone, and we don't get the tackle. So just got to stir up some of those things. We're getting better at it.
You almost say I know you're going to get your chance early because it's Thursday, but you're almost anxious to kind of get back out there and kind of.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got a bad taste in your mouth, and you want to get that cleaned up and erased, and you know, what better opponent to do that than Georgia Southern.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, and thank you, Coach. That's all the time we have for you today.
Okay.
We do appreciate it.